student is charged with terroristic threatening after police say a threat put schools on lockdown across the city. Where they say that threat came from may surprise you.
After a stretch of bitterly cold temperatures, water woes continue tonight for thousands of people across Kentucky.
They say her legacy will live on. How people on a college campus are remembering a professor police say was killed by her son.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 6.
Good evening. Tonight, a 15-year-old faces charges because of a strange threat. Police say that a car rental employee in Missouri received a call from someone threatening to shoot a busload of children in Danville.
The threat put some schools in Danville on lockdown today. Sean Moody is tracking this investigation for us tonight. It is our top story at 6.
Danville police said the incident began this morning with a phone call from hundreds of miles away.
From a Enterprise rent-a-car facility in St. Louis, Missouri.
An employee at that facility told a Danville police records worker that someone had called them with a message too chilling to ignore.
Stating that he was in the Danville area on a school bus full of children and that he was going to shoot the children if he didn't get $5,000 ransom.
That launched a lockdown situation at schools across Boyle County and triggered fear among families.
It's horrendous, absolutely horrendous, because you go by what you know of in the past.
Danville Police, the Boyle County Sheriff's Office, Junction City Police, and State Police all responded. Danville resident Benjamin Miles shot this video of officers clearing out a school bus. Police made sure all the schools were secure, and they say it appeared the call was a hoax, but they don't take calls like this lightly.
It's really scary, and it's something that you got to take serious. The one time that you don't, something tragic is going to happen.
A Danville police said that Enterprise employee gave them a phone number that they were able to trace back here to Boyle County. They say that led them to a 15-year-old Boyle County high school student. He's now charged with terroristic threatening.
Given that tragic events like this have happened, it's not funny. If you're on the receiving end of that, if you're a parent of one of the children in the community, or you're going to take that serious, and it's going to scare you.
In Danville, Sean Moody, WKYT.
Police said there was no specific connection to that St. Louis business. They say the boy called an 800 number and was routed there.
We just can't seem to shake it. It's not what many people in winter-weary Kentucky want to hear, but it looks like another round of snow could be heading our way. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey has an early look at the forecast, and we still have a lot of snow on the ground, Chris.
Yeah, we do. Quite the snowpack that is out there from the 15-plus inches we had last week into much of central and eastern Kentucky. The storm that we're tracking over the next couple of days still well back to our southwest, just now beginning to crank up across parts of Texas, and this is mainly a snowstorm across the south and into the Carolinas. It will deliver a glancing blow of some snow into parts of Kentucky. You can actually see a little curlicue beginning to develop in the clouds now. Storm system continues to develop, will arrive into the area Wednesday night. Best snow chances the farther south and east that you live, and we will watch for that famed north trend on the computer models as we get a little closer. Right now, there's absolutely nothing coming from the skies. A beautiful afternoon that is wrapping up here across central and eastern Kentucky. Weather headlines: snow chances increase as we keep a very close eye on that system to impact our region Wednesday night. It has another blast of Arctic air to follow, and then a lot of ugly shows up toward the tail end of that 7-day forecast. I'll come back in just a little bit. We'll break down those Wednesday night snow chances in greater detail, show you who has the best shot of getting in on accumulating snow with the first call for snowfall.
Thank you, Chris. Meanwhile, after a week of heavy snow and bitterly cold temperatures, many people in Kentucky are struggling to deal with the aftermath.
This afternoon, Governor Beshear gave an update on the state's emergency response. As Victor Puente tells us, the governor said a state of emergency will continue for the near future.
The governor came to the state's Emergency Operations Center for an update on all the problems caused by the snow and cold. Now that the roads are beginning to clear up, he says it's access to water that's the biggest issue. During his visit this afternoon, he was shown how the efforts had gone from focusing on transportation.
Things seem to be well in hand. That does not mean we don't have problems.
To focusing on the 14 counties where some people's faucets aren't working.
We've got water outages for various reasons, be they broken pipes or systems that have gone down.
The people in this room are working on the logistics of the hundreds of thousands of gallons of water the state is buying and delivering to those counties.
I want the people of this Commonwealth to know that We're going to be on the job every day, every night, until life does get back to normal.
But it's not just state agencies he's praising. He says they got a lot of help from people on the local level.
Our local officials and their emergency management folks out there on the ground have just done a fabulous job. And the people of the state in general have pulled together, as we always do, to not only take care of ourselves, but to take care of our friends and neighbors.
Governor Beshear extended the order against price gouging for another week. He also extended the order allowing pharmacies to refill prescriptions without a doctor's order for things like insulin. He said pharmacists across the state had asked him to do that. In Frankfort, Victor Puente, WKYT.
The Kentucky National Guard is also helping with snow removal and handing out bottled water.
And as you just heard, water shortages are still a major problem around the state. Thousands of people are without water right now or under mandatory conservation orders because of the weather. Sam Smith shows us what's being done to try to help those people without water.
Cases and cases of bottled water were handed out in Knox County. Hundreds of people were without water.
We're trying to get it out to them and working in a coordinated effort with the health department.
Estill County residents are also coping with the water shortage. Around 3,200 people were without water. Bottled water is available for anyone that needs it the next couple of days.
A godsend, to be honest, because every little bit's helping right now, because I mean, it's running into a lot of money having to buy water.
Kingdom Kids Daycare in Winchester has changed the way they operate following the water usage restrictions here in town.
Basically, what we're trying to do is eliminate as many flushes as we can and trying to preserve the water fountain that we have and just use the bottled water.
Crews from Fish and Wildlife delivered water to communities here in Harlan County because bottled water was tough to find. It's the same issue for folks in Letcher County.
Anytime that you get a lot of snow and then you get sub-zero temperatures and then you get rain, you have a lot of breaks, a lot of leaks.
Sam Smith, WKYT.
People without water are encouraged to contact their emergency management agencies for details about water distribution. And take a look at this. Melting snow and rain over the last week have made a huge difference at Cumberland Falls. This top picture was taken February 7th by WKYT news producer Jimmy Heislow before all the winter weather. Now, the bottom picture was taken yesterday. Huge difference. As you can see, there's a lot more water than normal going over the Cumberland Falls.
Another side effect of the winter weather, potholes. Many of those potholes have been popping up along roads around the Bluegrass in the recent days. The Kentucky Board of Claims says it's important for those potholes to be reported quickly. Once the Kentucky Department of Transportation receives a report of a pothole on a state road, crews have a certain amount of time to fix it.
But most of the cases that my investigator takes care of, it's about a 3-day process. We give them 3 days to fix it. Sometimes it's less than that if they're extenuating circumstances. So it is, reviewed on a case-by-case basis.
If you have damage to your car caused by a pothole on a state road, you can report it to the State Board of Claims. If that pothole had been reported to the state and it wasn't fixed in a timely manner, you could be paid for the damage. Tonight, Lexington city leaders say last week snow and ice cost the city nearly $500,000. The city says nearly half of that money was spent on private contractors for snow removal, and the rest was spent buying additional salt. Keep checking the bottom of your screen for the very latest school closings and delays. You'll also find a list on our website at WKYT.com.
Today, people on the Union College campus gathered to say goodbye to a professor who was murdered in her home. Earlier this month, police say that Sarah Hendricks was killed along with her husband and young daughter by her son. Jordan Valines tells us how Hendricks was remembered.
The turnout at Tuesday's memorial service.
Sarah's legacy will continue to live within her students.
Served as a true testament to how many lives Professor Sarah Hendricks impacted.
What I love the most about Sarah was her passion and her energy.
Inside and outside of the classroom.
There was something, I think, really magnetic about her and about her personality.
For years, Professor Hendricks worked as the director of the social work program at Union College.
The influence that she had really extended beyond the classroom. She was a large life in many ways, a good spirit.
Nearly 2 weeks ago, police say Professor Hendricks, her husband Kevin, and their young daughter Grace were shot and killed inside of their Corbin home by their 16-year-old son, Jason.
A shock to everyone, and we're still trying to process it and make sense of it.
Tuesday morning's memorial was the first chance for the school to mourn the loss together.
Processing grief and the loss of someone who mattered a great deal to us, that kind of processing, trying to make sense of what our lives will be like without Dr. Hendricks being part of that.
A sad reality that students, faculty, and staff are still trying to come to terms with. In Barberville, Jordan Valines, WKYT.
Union College has opened a room inside the Fine Arts Building where students and teachers can leave messages for the Hendricks family.
A state senator says it is time to fix Kentucky's death penalty process to make sure an innocent person isn't executed. So today, Senator Robin Webb of Grayson filed Senate Bill 190. The bill calls for more law enforcement training in the use of lineups, interrogations, and mental health issues. Judges would also be trained to recognize mental health issues, and the bill would move the state crime lab to an independent office in the Justice and Public Safety Cabinet.
I said, yes, it would be a prudent thing to do to halt executions at this time until we fix this system. Our system is broken.
Senator Webb says a 2011 American Bar Association report found many problems with Kentucky's death penalty process.
For the second time this month, Lexington firefighters were called to a fire at the Thoroughbred Center off Paris Pike. This afternoon, firefighters say a horse in a barn knocked off a heating element that was being used to warm up oats in a stall, and that sparked a fire in some hay. Firefighters say employees quickly put out the fire and kept it from spreading beyond that stall. No employees or horses were injured.
They were putting water on the fire with a garden hose when we got here, so the fire was just about out whenever the fire department arrived. We just helped them clean everything up to make sure nothing else was hot and rekindle or anything like that.
You may recall that back on February 4th, a large fire destroyed a tack shop, a leather shop, and an apartment at the Thoroughbred Center. A Lexington hotel badly damaged by a natural gas explosion last year will be reopening soon.
Managers of the Fairfield Inn in Beaumont expect the hotel to reopen near the end of March. Last September, firefighters say an explosion ripped through part of the building minutes after a car hit the hotel's natural gas meter. No one was seriously injured because the hotel had been evacuated after the crash. The hotel has been undergoing repairs over the last several months.
Comedian Bill Cosby will not be performing in Lexington next month after all. Today, the University of Kentucky announced that Cosby's planned show at the Singletary Center has been postponed. It was scheduled for March 15th. The new date was not given. UK says the decision was the result of a mutual agreement with Cosby and the show's promoter. Cosby has been accused of sexually abusing multiple women. The Singletary Center box office will begin issuing refunds for the show on Monday.